Hey, time heals everything. Time is the one thing we can't stop. Looking back at the last 4 years, wow, so much has gone on. I got a question for you. Knowing what we know now, how dumb do you feel? Yeah. The truth is, we were all lied to. You, me, depending on your ethnic background, of your beliefs, of your religion, doesn't matter. We were all lied to. Me, in my particular case, I was demonized, ostracized, censored, fired. I lost my job. And I have a union. Well, I don't really have a union. When your union is as corrupt as your government, not only you don't have a union, you don't have a democratic government. The funny thing is, this is just the beginning. More and more evidence is coming out that this was all a lie. AstraZeneca, I think this week, pulled out all their vaccines worldwide. Pfizer has been paying lawsuits, 10,000 lawsuits last month. And this is just the beginning. There is no wonder all these wars are starting all over the place. Governments will not accept accountability. So what are they going to do? Create more fear. If you don't realize by now that fear has been the premise of this whole, fiasco, it's been difficult. It's been a difficult 4 years, but I'm happy to have come out on top. And this is not about winning or losing. To me, it's about living with a purpose, living with principles and values. I hope we can put our differences aside and focus really on who's at fault. You're not at fault. I'm not at fault. Okay? Many of us were pushed against the wall and had no options. No options. Okay? And many of us got vaccine injuries. Many of us lost everything. The government devastated the economy. A guy that had a restaurant in the corner with 5 tables, no, he couldn't work. But a place that employs 3,000 people, like my workplace, we never even shut down. Actually, I think we shut down for less than 2 months, but then worked throughout the whole pandemic. So I'm not making this clip to create more division. Quite the opposite. I'm making this little clip to make you realize that we're not the bad guy and that you're not the bad guy. Talk about unions. Whatever happened to Jerry Diaz, the president of Unifor? Got caught red-handed, bribing people to follow a certain narrative, a certain agenda. Whatever happened to that guy? Never even got charged. Whatever happened to Dave Cassidy from Windsor and his comments about bringing 1,000 men and heavy equipment and push the peaceful demonstrators into the Detroit River? How come that guy isn't locked up or being charged with any crime? That is our union right now. Weak men. What is it going to take our union back? I don't know, maybe form a coalition? One guy run against that guy, one guy run against that guy, one guy run against that guy, and get them all out. That's the only way we're going to see change. If those guys that are still there right now stay there, this union is going to get even worse. I know all those guys. All of them. Vito Beato, Joe Georgie, Danny Price, the weakest of them all. Oh, but he got a promotion. Why? Because he's the weakest. If you're the strongest, you don't get promotions in this world. Only if you can be controlled, you do. And Danny Price was perfect candidate. How come guys like Maurice Kenny get booed out of the union, make their life impossible running for something? What happened to Lee Healy? Can somebody explain that to me? The last election, losing by 78 votes. And how many void votes were there? 78? How do you explain that? And if you can explain it, please do, because it doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, I'm not making this clip to, keep this division going. Quite the contrary. I'm making this just to see if some of us wake up and get all those fucking guys out of there. I remember when I started working for Chrysler and I was unionized, I was quite proud to be in a work environment where we supported each other. If there was an issue about health or safety, we were all together. Now it's not like that. So things have to change. Unions have been compromised. They're completely corrupt. In the middle of the pandemic, when I was out of work, I went to Ottawa to demand change, to do the peaceful demonstration, which was completely the opposite of what mainstream media was talking about. It was completely illegal by our garbage politicians, the way they invoked the Emergency Act. What a fucking joke. Which obviously it's come out that it was completely unconstitutional. And who's going to go to jail for that? Nobody. Even though Justin Trudeau he's going to go to jail at some point. So, time is not his friend because he's young and he'll see some jail time. Anyways, these are my thoughts. I hope you leave your comments in the chat and let me know how you think. Hopefully, we start to come together again. I encourage you to watch either one of these two videos and run for our union positions. Let's fix this garbage.